Sunday. Welcome to our podcast on this Sunday. I'm so happy that you've joined me today. I really am, and I hope you're well, and I hope you've had a great week. Now, today what I wanted to talk to you about was communication. It's one of those topics that is huge. We talk about it all the time, no matter where you are. If you're talking about self-development in a work context, just all over the place, everyone seems to want to talk about communication. But there are two things that I wanted to talk about today, which aren't actually part of the normal bits that you talk about in terms of communication. Sometimes things that may get a little bit forgotten. So I think we all know how important communication is. It's important for everything in our relationships, at work, with ourselves as well. Sometimes the communication that we have with ourselves, and particularly if we're negative about ourselves, or we're self-deprecating or things like that, that kind of communication is really bad. We can also be really positive for ourselves, which is great. So if you create a nice positive place in your head through communication, then that is brilliant, and carry on doing that. But what I wanted to talk about today is when people ask you, what is the purpose of communication? Then a lot of the time we say, oh, if you need to tell somebody something, or you've got something to say, or you need somebody to know something, or, it's all about us. It's all about I, particularly when we're talking about it. But actually, if the point is all about us and it's all I, then why are we talking? So I think it's sometimes forgotten that when we are communicating, we are sharing for a purpose, and a lot of the time it's because we need somebody, the person that we're talking to, the group of people that we're talking to, the audience that we're talking to, whoever it is, we need them to understand something. And I think if we try and remember that, it can just open up so many things for us, because then we're not inward focused. It's not what are we trying to do, what am I trying to do, what do I need to say? It's what do I need to tell these people, what do they need to understand? And whether that's they need to understand something to help them, or they need to understand something to help you, and obviously it could be both. So I tend to find this, and I'm not sure if you guys get this as well, but sometimes when you're trying to explain something to somebody and they don't quite get it, I can get so frustrated, even if it's just internally. Obviously sometimes it does spill out, with the ones that you love, but sometimes when that person they just don't seem to get it, and you think you're doing just the best job of explaining exactly what it is, but they just don't get it. Get so frustrated internally. And I think that comes from this starting point of I'm trying to tell you something, why don't you understand what I'm saying and how I'm trying to tell you this thing? Whereas actually what we should be thinking about is, okay, you're not quite getting this, I need to tell you something for my own benefit, your benefit, but I need you to understand this is about you and your how you will understand what I'm trying to say. So sometimes when we can flip it like that, it gives us more space to be a bit more creative. We're not so worried about what we're trying to do, but actually helping that other person understand what we're trying to say. And therefore you may try different things, try communicating in a different way, just try seeing things from their point of view. Maybe when you do that, you realise, oh, you know what, I've got all this background, all this context that is helping me to understand what I'm trying to say. Whereas if you don't have that context, then it may be a bit more difficult to understand what I'm saying in isolation. So then maybe you give a bit more context. So that's just one of the things that I really want to talk to you about today, because it's something that I really need to work on, and something that I actively want to work on, because I just feel like if I do that, if I think about the other person and how they are understanding what I'm saying, then I just feel like not only am I helping myself, I'm helping the other person, and frankly I won't get as frustrated, which is always a good thing. And it can just help you in your communication. We all want to be great communicators. It's, like I say, important for our personal lives plus also our professional lives, whatever you do, with our children, anything, with your friends. So I think it's just so important to every single part of our lives, no matter who you are and no matter what you do, that just thinking a bit more about these things can actually have a huge positive impact. Then the other thing that I wanted to talk about, so the first thing was, thinking about the other person, that they need to understand. So your job is to help them to understand. But also, why do we communicate? What's kind of like, why is it so important? And I think one of those things is obviously for ourselves, for sharing, and you know, you hear these things about, you know, a problem shared is a problem halved and all of those kind of sayings, but it really is just so true. And I feel like sometimes, for me in particular, I can, if I am under a lot of pressure, or if I'm stressed, or if I'm really kind of like focused, then I can forget about communication. I can forget about its positives, about the benefits of sharing, about the benefits of just talking to people about things. There's this great saying, and I spent a lot of time with PSI seminars, and there's a great saying with them, which is, you know, when your intention's clear, the mechanism will appear. And I really believe that that's a lot about communication. It's a lot about self-belief. I think that if you put something out there, you believe that it will happen. But you need to get that out there. And the process by which you get something out there is communicating, it's talking, it's sharing with somebody. It's not knowing all the answers, but still being willing to talk about it. It's about being vulnerable. It's about just, putting yourself out there. And I feel like for me, I need to learn to do better at that, particularly in moments when I've got a lot going on, or I'm stressed, or I'm not thinking straight, or I'm tired, or something like that. Because that, in actual fact, those are the moments when talking and sharing can actually make the biggest difference. But it's the times when I find it the most difficult to do. Just for whatever reasons, I kind of like go more internal than usual. When it's actually the time when, a problem shared is a problem halved, or if you're trying to do something you can't quite work out how you're going to get it done, or you're trying to plan something and you're trying to work out all the different steps. You don't have to do these things alone. If you do it together and you communicate and you put out there what you're trying to do, somebody may be able to help you. And isn't that such a wonderful thing, that we can learn from each other? And hopefully then people will do that to you, and it would be so wonderful then for you to help somebody else when they put their intention out there, and you can help them find that mechanism to do it. So that's where I want to leave it today. I just wanted to share those things with you. That's what I've been thinking about this week, and the bits that I'm finding difficult at the moment, or that I'm working on. So I really hope you found it useful. I really hope that it gives you some inspiration to think about your communication and what you're doing. And above all, guys, I really hope that you have a wonderful week. You stay happy, you stay healthy, look after yourselves, look after each other, and I will see you again next week. Okay, guys, now you take care and have a great week. Bye.